Killer Analyzation. Hello everyone, this is Duroc from KillerInstinctCentral.com and welcome to the very first entry in our Killer Analyzation video series. Today we're going to be analyzing the reveal of Spinal, the latest announced character for the upcoming Xbox One title, which will be releasing this year on November 22nd. So let's get to analyzing.
Welcome.
Alright, so here we are, Spinal. Alright, so let's go ahead, let's look at this character here. First of all, let me just say that the design of this character is bad-ass. You know, he is, in my opinion, the most well-designed character, true to form, you know, very similar to the previous character with some very noticeable differences here. So first of all, let's talk about what is similar. If you look at his face, of course, it's very similar to his previous form in the previous Killer Instinct titles. One thing that is a little bit off, however, is his nose. If you don't know, the nose doesn't really have isn't very structured bone-wise, so it should actually be hollowed out right there, which is probably the only one thing that I and others have with the design of this character right now. His eyes are a little bit different. If I'm not mistaken, they were actually red in the previous games, and now they've been altered a bit with this bluish greenish type color here. He does have that trademark bandana is back, as you can see. Now some very interesting things you'll notice right here is some of the things that he's accessorized with. I'm guessing that these things will be interchangeable. So what you can see here is he has ropes surrounding his body, kind of looping over his right arm there, also going across his left shoulder and across his chest. And another thing you'll also notice is back on the back of him, he actually has the ship's wheel, or the ship's stern, I believe it's called, is actually strapped to his back. So what I'm guessing here is that his stage is probably shipwrecked on some beach somewhere, and very similar to what Jago did with the temple. You know, if you're not aware, Jago he's actually outfitted himself with pieces of the temple where he is at in this new game. So I'm thinking that Spinal here has done something very similar. He has taken his pieces from his wrecked ship and he has actually decked himself out with it. Of course, he does have his sword back as well, as you can see. Definitely a bit altered from the previous games. So, you know, it seems like Double Helix with the design of this character is they're making him more of a pirate, which is definitely not a bad thing. You know, they hinted at that in the very first Killer Instinct title here and there, and in Part 2 they really in Killer Instinct 2, you know, Rare really made that even more obvious as his level actually took place on a ship out in the middle of the sea, I believe it was. Alright, now let's take a look at his shield here. One very noticeable thing here is you notice it does have runes in it. I'm covering here on the side, perhaps some ancient language or something, because you know Spinal's history is that he is actually an ancient warrior that was revived by Ultratech. So who knows what time period that's exactly from, or what these runes on his shield means. So I'm thinking that perhaps those runes is some kind of magical property. Now, if you do recall, again back in the older games, is that his shield could actually absorb projectiles. You know, whether that's something that's returning into this game or not, we have yet to have any confirmation of. You know, there's not exactly a lot of projectile characters in the game so far. It's only Jago and with his fireballs, and you have Glacius with his Hellstorm attack. But you know, in the previous games, almost every character had a projectile. So whether they actually want to take the time to put that move into it, this character or not, I don't know. Another thing that's interesting about his shield as well is that the shield itself, you can't really see it here, or have the video frozen, but the shield itself is actually alive. The tentacles on the bottom of the shield they're actually moving to indicate that. So so if you listen to IGN's Rewind theater video with Vince and the producer of the design director of the game, Dave, he actually talks a little bit about the shield and how instrumental it is to the character's development. So if whatever type of character Spinal is, I'm guessing Rushdown, he may actually be able to perhaps grab his opponents with that shield. You know, I can just imagine those tentacles being able to just latch onto just Saberwolf, for instance, and just toss them to the ground or toss them across the arena or something, which would be a very interesting move, especially coming from Spinal and from, you know, a potential Rushdown type character. So there you are. That is our analyzation of Spinal. So I think he's shaping up, at least from what we can see here in the design, is that he's shaping up to be a very interesting character. Hopefully, we'll get some gameplay of him soon. When that will be, I haven't the slightest idea. But he's set to be released sometime, I believe, around January or February next year is when they're intending to release the 7th and 8th characters of the game. So hopefully sometime before then we'll start getting some gameplay and we'll see exactly what this character is all about. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this and are looking forward to our next entry in our Killer Analyzation video series. Thank you.